Okay, I've been asked to do a video tutorial how I'm uploading my apps. So I'm using these three apps with this. So first I record on Dualgram. That gives me the picture-in-picture view that you'll see in this video. Then I open up Captions app. Then it asks me to import. So I import the video that I want and then it starts uploading it. Create right there. And then you'll see me going into my editing phase here. So it uploads, takes a while. So you see it was offset there. It was offset to the left, so I moved it over. I recentered it. Now there's a little gap here. That little gap, right before I start talking, I deleted that. I'm going through it and looking for gaps. And right here it's telling me, okay, I kind of repeated myself, so I want to remove that gap. This is a manual process. I'm going to show you in a little bit later how it will automatically delete it on its own. So, but I'm showing you here right now that I split and then I click on it. I make sure it's highlighted and then I delete it. So this is another gap here. I hold on to it. I'm looking for that yellow gap. So I had repeated myself. I'm going to delete that. So it just keeps the users or listeners more engaged when there's less gaps in between. There's a very short attention span, so I'm trying to remove some of these gaps manually. Again, you'll see here another gap removal, just splitting it, and it automatically segments certain parts in between words. And so you'll see here in a little bit, I'm going to go back into it and I'm going to let it do the auto delete of the gaps. So right here, AI auto edit. Now it's going to remove all those gaps manually, and then I'm going to go look for any things that I want to correct. So I'm going to correct a couple of things in here later, and I have this sped up so it's not so long. This original video was 24 minutes. So just going in here, looking for anything that might be unusual, something that I want to change. I think so where it said pool, if you notice pool, door, pools, I noticed that it had like a pool cue. So I'm going to go back there and I'm look at emojis here in a little bit and delete it. But right now I'm just kind of previewing it. You see it automatically adds emojis, and just looking to see if anything's unusual. I talk about a sprinkler system and I meant to say smoke alarm, so I'm going to go back there, also delete that here in a little bit. Smoke alarm. Okay, so I mentioned sprinklers. So why I said sprinklers, because I was looking up at the ceiling, and commercial buildings have sprinklers. So I'm going back there and just going to make sure I delete that because it's obviously irrelevant. If I would have left it in there, someone might have said something, so it might have actually been a good idea to leave sprinklers in there. And so that's another tip. It kind of bothered me that I said it, so I removed it, and then I'm going to go back here and I'm looking for other things to delete. So there's the sprinklers, deleting that whole area there. Trying to scroll through and find it. So I'm just finding where it started and where it begins. Now I'm going backwards. So you click on the word C. So I'm changing the C and I'm looking for the emoji I want it. Yeah, for some reason C had an emoji for a saw, so I changed the emoji for the words SEEC, and I changed it to look. So I'm just changing some of the emojis. I'm changing anything that looks weird. So now he mentioned the price of $399, and you see instead of 300,000, 1,909. So now I'm editing the words there. So if something is unusual, or if it looks weird, might distract somebody. So I'm just making that correction there, and I think here in a little bit I'm going to change something else. What am I looking for? Oh yeah, it's the other price he mentioned there, 4029. change that. He mentioned it twice, or I repeated what he said. So I'm changing that. So you can edit words, you can edit the emojis that are tied to the words, you can have emojis not show up, but this is the simple way to correct it. Kind of just, you just got to go in and edit. If you left it all, as is, I'm sure it would be fine. Anything's better than nothing, but I'm just spending a little more time there. And if you see there's also a way to add AI images, so it automatically put images. If you say pool, maybe it'll have a picture of a actual pool. So now I'm going back and I'm looking to see how it turned out. And this is a different way you can actually change the way your words come out. These are different scripts. So I'm just kind of previewing, showing what the different scripts are available. If you have a preference, I like this one because it kind of moves with the words and it's just a little bit more interactive. And then I export it. This is the last step here in this captions app. So then I'm going to go back and I'm going to go into a different app. So this takes a lot longer. I just sped this part up. Go to the camera. So then I go to InShot. So then I click and upload my video that I just did. And now I'm going to add my own, I'm going to add my logo. I'm going to add my name, my website, and just go into there and kind of make sure that stuff is on there. So if you have a logo or website and you want to make sure it's on there because it's not added on captions, or I haven't done it to captions, haven't really explored if it does these things, but this one will add your text. It'll add emojis, or also additional emojis you can add. So somehow right here I accidentally moved somehow, or towards the end of that, you notice the words shifted to the right. So somehow I missed that. Obviously I would have to recorrect this. So I go into my logos, I find my logos, I position it. So you want to do it there towards the beginning, and then you click on it. So if you see it, it's going to stop. It only gives it about 5 seconds. Now I'm clicking on clip to the end, so it's going to go all the way to the end. Right, I'm going to do the same thing for the text as well. And make sure it's going to stay, so that stuff will stay on the top forever. So another thing is you can add is emojis, or these little things that pop up like this. Those are pretty cool. A lot of great features on this app. I love it. I probably don't use this one, these features too much, but this is another example. Arrow to highlight something, and you can stretch out the time that it's on there as well. I wouldn't post this with the letters being all the way to the side, but I was actually doing this one as a tutorial, so I left it as is. You can also add pictures before and after. So for instance, you can add pictures on the end, or you can add, so if you see the way this picture is kind of stretched out, I accidentally put this at the beginning. That can be deleted, it can be shortened, it can be lengthened, the time that you put it on there as well. So it can be kind of something that leads in or fades out. There's also a way to adjust the transition from one to another. So right here, if you notice, I'm going to go into, I'm changing the length of how time, but I'm also going to show you some other ways to transition. I think over here I was trying to delete it, but I decided to kind of just show instead of transition. And so I went back to the end, clicked on the bottom there. There's different transition, so you can preview what it looks like. This kind of goes from left to right. Another one fades like that. So this is how you can use those 3 apps. Hope you're enjoying it. And then of course you upload this. This takes some more time. And that's pretty much how you do it. You save it, and that's it.